Books worth it in the modern age? Yes, absolutely, but not for the reasons you think. For the past year of 2025, as of recording this, I have been consistently reading a book every single week, and this habit has challenged me to be better as an author and writer. But for most people, when we think of books, they are honestly irrelevant. They are something that many of us don't desire because of the time it's using. And as a whole, we tend to ignore books because it's too hard. Like a cold shower or even just going to the gym, books have this invigorating feeling that makes us not want to read or just do something with our lives. But I'm here to tell you that it's quite the opposite. I'm here to argue that both fictional and non-fictional pieces will make for a better world if you follow this exact advice. What I've learned about books comes in millions of details, but sharpening it down to a couple minutes will allow me to showcase why I love books so much and why you will love books as much as I do by the end of this video. If you don't know me, I'm Arnel Arcega. I'm one of the healthiest authors and writers you will ever encounter. As such, I make sure people stay on the path of reading and writing, as well as just make sure they can improve their lives for the better. If you want personal help so I can help you write your own story, aka your first book, then check out my Instagram down in the link in the description, as well as my books down there as well. For now, let's get into the importance of books, why they are still valuable to modern society, and what we can learn the more we can read all kinds of literature. It's no surprise that when we think of the modern age, we tend to view a lot of illiteracy. We view a lot of people illiterate and cannot read. It's especially terrible for the adults out there, but again, it's not hard to see why. With many people stuck on their phones consistently scrolling, it's a terrible, terrible habit to fall into. And I know because I've fallen into that trap many times in the past weeks of my life. There are many moments in which I'm just stuck scrolling on Instagram or scrolling on Twitter, and it can't be helped by the fact that I just want a simple dopamine boost. But I want you to understand that when it comes to books, it's the opposite of that. It's supposed to be challenging so that you can learn to be a better human. The state of the world is terrible, to say the least. We tend to view it in a lot of negativity, but there's also a lot of positivity that we don't seem to notice. With us always focused on our phones, we always look towards that negativity. It's a reason why the phrase rage bait is so big, and why we use so many memes to distract ourselves to test out what works and what doesn't. But there's also a beauty to that, in the fact that a video like this can reach your own screens, and I can record it rather easily by just teaching you the importance of books. I've always loved books, even as a kid, because it fueled a sense of creativity that I feel is lacking with the modern age. With how easy it is to just look up something or just Google anything through AI, it's safe to assume that books are largely forgotten about because of the fact that they challenge us. I've used that knowledge to make sure I can always be better. And that's why over here you can see exactly every book I finished from 2025. Now, using writing tools as one of my favorite examples here, it's all about positivity in the words we are reading. And this is important, especially to understand, because for many people, books are a way to make us seem more nerdy or to challenge our own learning. Either way, it is important because of the fact that books have an understanding that many teachers, many advisors, and even myself don't understand. Books are written by some of the best people of all time. There are cases in which there are terrible books, but it's less likely to be found. With books like writing tools, or even just nonfiction pieces like How to Win Friends and Influence People over there, we learn that books are necessary because we get better. The better we get, the more we can influence the world around us. But this is all through positive strokes and attributes. It's an important difference to note negativity and positivity with our words, because with the books, we don't want it to be something that's largely negative. We want it to be a positive net gain that I feel many of us struggle in. I recently finished a book called an absolutely remarkable thing by Hank Green. And one of my favorite things about Hank Green is the fact that he's a YouTuber. He inspired me to make this exact channel you're watching now, and reading his own book made me come to terms with how modern society acts, as well as just why we value books so much. Even though this book was written over 5 years ago, it's still relevant to this day, referencing many apps that still exist and are modern to each and every one of us. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because there are many negative moments that caught me off guard in a similar manner to Catcher in the Rye. The more we view many negative moments, the more likely we just aren't fueled to read the book, which is why many of us tend to put it down. It's too difficult sometimes, but there's also moments, especially in fiction novels, that will make us just put the book down and not want to pick it up. It's hard enough, especially coming from an author. And one of my biggest advice for those who truly want to write their own fictional story is to make the characters likable, to make them rootable for an audience like yourself or whatever kind of audience you're going for. If we understand the negativity of words in books, the better we can understand the positivity. It's easy to get negative, especially on an online space, but it's also easy to get positive in the real world. This is why I love a book like Writing Tools so much. While it criticizes you, the reader, for being someone who is inexperienced in writing, you physically and progressively get better at understanding certain crafts and certain ideas through the workshops they keep on elevating. And I love that. I genuinely think that there's a beauty and sincerity involved with the words I'm saying. And while I tend to sound smarter than the average person, I use this knowledge to fuel these YouTube videos, make it entertaining enough and snappy so that I can use books as a platform to grow. One of the most notable things about books is just why we value it in the first place, why we use books nowadays, and why it still exists in the modern age. For many of us, books is used as a tool for information. Nowadays, I firmly believe that books have changed. I believe that books are not just used as information, but rather as a way to get back. Here's what I mean. Getting back and centering your mind with focus are exactly what makes books powerful. The more we can focus on the present moment, the better we can get at just making things worth it. Whether you want to do a stable career or even just get better at a certain craft, it allows us to think more sharper. The better we get at just getting better, the more our lives improve. And this is why I love books so much, because when we think of just escaping, we tend to view books as just that way of learning. We escape into these fictional worlds, or we just get more information in the non-fiction. Either way, they have a power that allows us to focus our minds forward. And it's way better than scrolling on our phone or typing away the next adult video. It's all about just looking forward and being present. Sometimes books do have that irrelevant factor, which I get. But to be able to be more present is a superpower that many of us tend to ignore. And with how delegated we are on phones or video games or junk food even, we honestly need to look forward and do what challenges us. But to enjoy the challenge and to be able to physically move forward with it, we have to be able to do my favorite term: nurture your nature. By nurturing your nature, aka improving on the self-improvement habits you get, the better you will physically involve yourself with books. I've noticed that my life has not correlated with books at all. This is because of the fact that I wasn't improving any other area in life. Books are great in the fact that you can read them and consistently get better at the knowledge you're seeking. But if you don't take action, then books are useless to many of us. This is why I value so many self-improvement topics, as while cringe as it sounds, we can honestly benefit from things like meditation, cold showers, or even just exercising more and sleeping more. By improving these habits, I can get better at making these videos. And by using books as a foundation, it allows me to just view it in a manner that's never seen before. I've been journaling for the past couple weeks of my life, and it's planning for an upcoming video. I have. But in the case of journaling, it's the reason why I read books so much. I want to stack this to the top as high as I can. Those books over there are the ones I'm still currently reading. And the more I implement books and less of the scrolling, the better it just fuels me. The better I just feel good in life. And I can't help just but smile over that fact, knowing that there's a chance to read. There's a reason to read, not just to read any kind of literature, but just to improve on areas in life that I never thought about, whether that's cleaning, cooking, or even just spending time with friends. Reading books is an easy but challenging method, but I feel if we were to look at books in a different light, when we view it less of learning and more as a way to reflect on ourselves and to be able to relax, I'm telling you that's an easier sense of relaxation over playing video games or scrolling on your phone. You're always stimulated. Constant stimulation frustrates us, and you know this better than anyone out there. The more headaches we get, the less we have to take pills and eat junk food and shit. It's all about just staying consistent, which is why I value books so much. It's an easy discipline tactic that will help us improve the nature of our words, our surroundings, and in particular, just makes us a more creative person in the long run. So yes, books are important in the modern age, but not for the reasons you think. It's not all about learning, nor is it to appear more nerdy to attract people. While those are great on its own, it's all about resurfacing, improving the nature of one's character, and getting to the point where you can start here and end up all the way over here. I know in my journey, for the past year of 2025, I started at this low point, but the more I consistently read, the better I get at my writing, and I can teach you, the audience, to be able to read better, write better, and improve lives in more ways than one. If you want personal help again to write your own story in a similar fashion to all these books here, then check out my Instagram down below. I love advocating towards books, but it's not until we take action that it becomes valuable. You can check out my other socials down in the link of the description so you can also see what I've been doing with these books. As a whole, I love books, and I want you to continue having that same drive and passion as I do. Until next time, however, keep on reading, keep on writing, and take care.